Shalom. I'll give all honor and praises to YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Have honor to the elders from House of Great Millstone, which is music, truth, and sincerity. Citation to the hopeful and spirit of the foreground of the earth. All right, so this is going to be and I did say double honors. I knew the order that was sent out by Elder Hostar. It was a slip of the tongue. When you said it for so long, just kind of get used to it. So salutations to the elders and apostles, that I learned from, right? Because I'm still showing their respect, right? That I didn't come about, this truth or, the truth, by my own means, right? It was the spirit that led. It was the spirit of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, that led me to the sincere, elders and brothers, right? That was, teaching that was laboring, before me, right? So that's why I give my salutations, my respect to those elders and brothers, right? It's important, right? And to show that you didn't, come about this, this truth, you didn't come out by the truth by your own means, right? So again, so the title of this video will be the Chehaw Monument and its importance to the tribe of Gad, right? Because I did our own location yesterday, and this was basically I went to a site in my area, and I went to this Chehaw monument, right? Now, when I went there yesterday, I could barely read the words, right? Because it's like it's been sitting there for like I don't know how many years, and you can barely actually read what it says. But I have a little image here on this website. So this is a large Indian town, home of the Chehaws, a friendly cultural people of the Creek tribe, aided our earliest settlers, right? The word Creek just go back to any southern, eastern, Native American, Indians, right? Because you have two types of Creek tribes. You have the upper Creek tribes and you have lower Creek tribe. Now where I'm from, there was lower Creek tribes, which is up in the tribe of Gad, right? It's just Wiki E, it reminds me of that scripture, Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy 28:37. I think around about verse where it goes into, then you should be called in astonishment, proverb, and that why, and I'm going to pull that precept as well, I can finish reading this. It says they contributed men, food, and horses to subdue the hostile Seminoles in Florida, right? Because this was the start of the 1818 First Seminole War. Okay, and I believe Andrew Jackson, he came here. Okay, again he came here. Okay, to basically, in the Gad, they gave him some warriors. Okay, to go to Florida, right? To because another king that the Seminoles were I think they're Rubens, right? They were doing an uprising, right? Against against Edom. Okay. Here Andrew Jackson rested with his starving, was given help in 1818. Here also in 1818. Through misunderstanding were massacred 7 of this tribe by Georgia troops, for which all possible amends were made. Right, and that what I mean by all possible amends were made was, them trying to give the descendants of those that were massacred, the descendants of Gad, $10,000 reparations, okay, for laws, lives, culture, food, and land, right? And that's not enough, right? And that was basically a mockery, because um, you know, they completely, wicked, there's a lot of pieces I'm gonna actually pull. There's a lot of things going to my mind. I'm trying to, put all the pieces together to make this video lesson edifying. Um, but yeah, that was just like a little nugget I want to read. So I'm gonna get into the first precept, right? Because they call him the Chehaw, right? Chehaw. Okay. Now that word again, when that word Chehaw, um, it goes back to the it's because before they were called Chehaw, before they were called Chehaw, they were called the Omakli, okay, the Omakli, right? Um, which means pour on me, okay. Let me see. I'm going to it right here. Omakli, right? Pour on me, which was located in Muckley Creek, today Muckley Creek, right? You know, again, and I went into it on my own location yesterday about that word. That name is significant, right? Pour on me, because when you that word term pour on me, it means to basically to to be to produce a lot of something, to produce a lot of something in order to achieve something. Okay, right? To produce a lot of something in order to achieve something, right? And, and I believe again through the spirit, I believe that Yahweh he will blessing, um, he'll blessing a lot of he'll blessing Gad. Okay, he'll providing Gad with the necessary tools, equipment they needed to survive. Right, you know. So Deuteronomy 28:37 it says reads. He said, "Thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee." Right. That word Chehaw, it's a proverb and a byword. Okay. You know, there were Creek Indians, there were Creek Indians alone is a proverb, a byword, and astonishment. Right. You know, now we go to that word astonishment, a waste of land, city. Okay. And this is what our people became. Our people became our people became desolate. Okay, you know, our Jake. Look how Jake is licking and living. Okay, the Jake is a waste. Okay, is desolate. Right, and how the Northern Kingdom when those so, when Edom came over here, right? You know, through their conquering of their so-called when you go into it, them their great land rush, right? When they came over here, they start to basically you know destroy everything in their path, basically. To be honest, right? God taught Edom a lot of things, right? You know, and Edom basically repaid God you know, through deleting their tribe. Okay, uh, when you go into it, right? Basically, completely decimating, and putting them on so-called and putting them on plantations, right? Putting them on, you know, the history of the nothing. When you go into it, it's sorrow, but we have to go into it, right? We can't avoid these are things because these are our history, and we have to go into it because this is the truth. Okay, a proverb, a byword, a proverbial saying, hey, an aphorism, you know, we always as I mentioned a a one as famous as any meeny miny mo catching nigga by the toe. Okay, that's a proverb saying. Okay, you know, then a parable. Okay, then you have a byword which it goes back to the word Chehaw. Okay, you know, um, Creek, right? Wetback, Native American, okay, Seminole Indians, okay, because those are not our original, okay, names that were given to each particular, tribe, okay. You have YAHAWAH, which is the tribe of, the so-called Negroes today, you know. Then you have, Gad, which are the so-called Native Americans, and then you have Rubens, Seminole Indians. Okay, but those so-called these are reason why I say so-called Negroes, so-called Native Americans, so-called Seminole Indians, because those you know are bywords are given to us today to identify each tribe. Oh, and the reason, and I think on my own location, I also mentioned Deuteronomy 28:12, where it goes back to the blessings, right? That we will have received if we kept the laws of the Lord. Okay, you know, it said the Lord Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure. Okay, the heaven to give thee rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thy hand. Okay, and through the Spirit, and again, our brothers always mentioned this when the Northern Kingdom, came to the so-called New World, right? You know, they kept the laws of the Lord, right? You know, they might didn't keep it 100%, but they kept it, you know, somewhat, right? To their accounts, of it. So I believe, that the Lord, through the Spirit, I believe the Lord that He will bless in the northern kingdom. Okay, because how else could our people knew how to hunt, right? You know, there were just enough land and everything for when Northern Kingdom came over here. So the Lord he blessed God. Okay, he blessed the Northern Kingdom. All right, and thou shalt land unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Okay. Now, right now, okay, we have to borrow. The scripture speaks about that. We should go to our enemy for once all things, right? But in the kingdom of heaven, we're not gonna be the one to borrow. Okay. You know, we're gonna get things. We're gonna get things. Okay. The other nation, they're gonna be, link. Uh, they're gonna be giving us things, right? Now I'm gonna read a little article here that I have put up. I'm gonna read this whole article. I'm actually gonna link it from Georgia genealogy. Uh, it says I'm gonna read this paragraph here. It reads: Within a few years, however, a number of Native American tribes in the Southeast became concerned about their dependency on own and exploitation by the British. Right? You know. And when you the word dependency because the state are relying on, the state are relying on. And the word exploitation means the action or fact or treating someone unfairly. Right? You know. So they because they rely on British for what trade, right? And they were getting treated. They were getting, and there's accounts, of the British, they cause there was a term Indian, Indian. Um, they were selling Indian. Okay, they were selling the Gad, okay, and Reuben into slavery at the time, right? So they were being exported by the British, okay, you know, and the British were treating the Gad and Reuben, unfairly, okay. Not it was no not only did the Northern Kingdom, not only did the Southern Kingdom, no the so-called Negroes, the Northern Kingdom, the whole tribe went to slavery, right? You know, we're still in slavery. The whole tribe basically the whole tribe went into um, what do you call it, cattle. Think cattle slavery is what you call it. Is what the term for it. Chattel, as they become more dependent on European goods, particularly guns and ammunition. It became more difficult for the Native American to extricate, meaning to free themselves from their involvement in the European trade. Okay, because they became, because as you read, they dependent on European goods. Okay, particularly guns and ammunition. Right, because basically Native Americans they didn't need guns and ammunition. Okay, before the British came, the reason how they fought wars and hunted, for their food was through them using bow and arrows. Okay, because it shows that ancient spirit was still on our people. Because back in back during the time where when our people living in our land, living in the land, land of Israel at the time, you know, they were, it was arrows was popular, right? There was no guns back in the ancient world. There were no guns, there were no ammunition. There were arrows, okay, at the time, all right? How people, how you fought wars. You had your arrows and you had your swords, okay? And this is that devil, this is why the scripture says to him was, he will bless that's Esau being blessed with a great sword, okay, with that sword, okay, you know, to make these particular, modern day weapons they have today, like the assault rifles, the RPGs, okay, you know, let's the handgun, the list goes on and on. So I'm get here in Deuteronomy 28 and Deuteronomy 28:43, it says, "A stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and that shall come down very low." Right. And that what happened to the nation of Israel. Wiki E, okay, Edom, they came up very high and we came down very low. Okay. So that's Wiki E come into rulership. Okay. Esau the end of the word, Jacob the beginning of the final. So it's Esau time to rule, right? But everybody get, it's about to, because strangers are just represent, the heathens. Okay, all the heathens, actually, all the heathens, they got, they're Moab, Ammon. Okay, they look at Jake as if Jake is, don't mean anything. Okay, as if the nation Israel, so it shows how the curse fell upon the nation Israel. Okay, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. Okay, and this is what been shown right here in this when you read this article, right? You know how Gad became dependent on European goods, particularly guns and ammunition. It shows that he would land into Gad, right? You know how they became involved in the European trade, right? But before, I will say, before, you know, because the guy did teach E a lot of things, right? When they came over, right? When they came to the so-called New World, right? E got taught a lot of things from God, right? From the Northern Kingdom. And you can you can actually there's like I think there's a list as when you searching 10 things um that these early observers learned from the Native Americans. So the Native American helped the Pilgrims learn to hunt, teaching them trapping techniques and animal movement patterns. The Native American also showed the Pilgrim how to gather various food items, showing them which foods were dangerous and which ones were edible. Right, because he didn't know nothing about this land. Okay, no, he didn't know anything about. He only knew that there was riches, and there was gold, and there was something he can, you know, um, he can, use to expand his his conquest. Okay, conquering the whole world, right? So go back to Deuteronomy 28. Right. So he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Right. Wicked ye, he's the head. He's the head, and we're the tail. Right. You know. So we're not meaning well. We're not in control. Right. We're not on top. Okay. It says more and more deer had to be slaughtered to meet the growing European demand for deer skins. All right. Worse was a large scale Indian slave trade that developed. Okay, because there was again chattel slavery was going on, right? And this was way before the Northern Kingdom. I believe this had to be way before the Southern Kingdom came over here. Because I know they had to be either. Uh, Now, and when the Southern Kingdom came over here, they were still, selling, selling, gas in the Northern Kingdom to slavery. So, they didn't treat the Northern Kingdom no different than they treated the Southern Kingdom, right? They still see us as worthless, as, trash, as nothing, beneath them, minorities, as they say, okay? So this is all we say, says joined by their Indian allies on the Okmulgee River, the English led many slave capturing expeditions into Southwest Georgia and North Florida against Indian allies with the Spanish and French. And now I'm gonna get here in Genesis 49, okay, where it goes back into how um how a troop should overcome thee, right? When you read more into it, let's see right here. I'm gonna read this later. Now this is where you get that they go back to that Chehaw Monument that was mentioned earlier in this lesson. Before I get that, I'm gonna read here in Genesis 49:19. It says it reads, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Okay. because I believe this was when maybe it was Rebecca, if I'm not mistaken. No, Zippa. Okay, so this is what I think was when Zippa saw a army of troops coming, and she this what is what she named her seventh son. Okay, God, because she saw a troop coming. So God just means troop. Okay, and that's spiritual, right? Because there was when again when the God came over here to the so-called New World, right? You know, it was just them, right? You know, then guess what? A troop came, right? Those so-called pilgrims, okay, Edom. Hey, the British Army came over here, right? Spain, okay, because this whole continent was inhabited by French, by Spanish, by British, okay. So a troop should overcome him, right? And that troop did overcome the God, okay, so-called Native Americans, right? Those British, right? You know, overcame God, right? But he should overcome at the last minute. What the elect of God, right? The elect will overcome, will overcome uh, this devil Edom, right? In the kingdom of heaven. So I'm gonna read this. Read some of this. It reads while Jackson and his several thousand militia and Indian troops were in Florida, an Indian raid took place on the Georgia frontier. Governor William Rabun appointed Captain Obed Wright to lead a punitive expedition of 270 Georgia militias against guilty parties. Right. This is where I was referring to my own location I did. Okay. And I said that, 270 Georgia militia, was ordered to, basically come down, to subdue a raid that's going on. Okay. Because they didn't because it said mistakenly. This is why it says that mistakenly. Okay, it was understood as a mistake because they didn't know. It just said I was reading his against guilty parties, so it wasn't. They didn't know who it was, right? You know, there was no name. Okay, as we by to read more. Okay, showing that there was no credible anything credible. The right heard that some Chehaw had been responsible for the raid, and so he led his men to the major Chehaw town of Omaclee, right, or Chehaw. Okay, basically to Gad. Okay, again, Deuteronomy 28:19, right? When the rapidly, when she saw a troop coming, right? So she named her son Gad, right? And this is spiritual, right? Which represent those so-called Native American, what they would be going to now, right? A troop, 270 Georgia militia came marching, okay, to um to a peaceful, okay, because it was a peaceful town, right? A peaceful Gad, they were living peace, right? They were holding their little white flags, okay, to basically to um to illustrate that they were peace, right? They were meaning no harm, okay. And as about to continue to read, it about to show you're gonna you're gonna paint a picture, of how they did just completed disregard of life, not caring, okay, Edom. And aware that most of the Chehaw warriors from the towns were with Jackson, Florida. Okay, because again, going back to that, you know, it goes back into Jackson, going to Florida to subdue those Seminole Indians that was rebelling, okay, against their enemies, right? Which Andrew Jackson, he was an Edomite anyway, so you know, and, and that and that the town was inhabited largely by women, children, and old men, right? Ordered an attack which resulted in at least 7 killed and 42 to 5 wounded, right? Which were all again women, children, and old men, right? So these devils didn't care, right? They clearly wish we they didn't care, right? And they were again waving their white flag of peace, okay? When Jackson heard of the Chehaw massacre, he was outraged. He escalated the governor, ordered Wright's arrest, and promised the Chehaw that they would be compensated for their destroyed property. Captain Wright was arrested, but he escaped to Florida and was never found. And no one was ever punished for the slaughter at Chehaw. The slaughter of Gad, basically. Their women, children, and men. Okay, the federal government did live up to Andrew Jackson's promise, and the Chehaw were awarded $10,000 compensation for their losses. The money, however, was bittersweet, for it did not really compensate for the loss of lives, land, and culture that the Chehaw had recently experienced. Right. So this is why we read in Deuteronomy 28 in fucking Genesis 49:19, where it talks about that again a troop should overcome thee, but they should overcome, but he should overcome them at last, right? Because the Lord, the Lord, he gonna the Gad, the Gad, they're gonna overcome. Okay, Gad, the Gad, let you know, it's gonna overcome these devils, right? They're gonna be, you know, it's gonna be some payback. Okay, that's the only thing I gotta say. It's gonna be payback. Okay, coming to these devils for what they did, right? In little more than a decade, the same federal government will undertake the removal of the remaining Chehaw to the Trans-Mississippi West. The Chehaw to the Trans-Mississippi West, right? This is what you call it, got the Treasure Tears, right? So, no matter, where Gad was, right? Whether he was in Southwest Georgia or whatever, you were getting treated as if you were nothing, right? You're getting treated unfairly, right? And the devil didn't care about you, okay? Because again, that true overcoming God, okay? It was prophesied, right? You know, the tribe of Gad, right? It had to be during this time, right? During that time of 1818, right? During that time of when Gad was over here, then because this is just talking about one person, right? But when you Gad is a tribe, okay? It's just not one person. It's a tribe of people, okay? A troop should overcome him, but he should overcome at the last, right? So this is what we're reading about right here, okay? A troop overcoming Gad, right? This army, this so-called Union Army, okay? This British Army overcoming Gad, right? And removing them from that land, okay, from their land, okay, and putting them, okay, and sending them to the Trans Mississippi West, thus completing the great land grab begun by white colonists a century and a half earlier by Edomites. Okay, the great land grab, right? The great land grab. Now you can read. You can go into more this little history. So it shows you that these devils was covenanting over the land of they were covenant over the northern kingdom land, right? You know, and these devils they don't care, right? They don't care, right? You know, because it's war. Okay, to them, to the Edomite, it's just war. You know, it just but to God, to the Northern Kingdom, it was their home. This was their home. Okay, you know, they wanted peace. Okay, they were flying that white flag when you go into it, right? You know, they were flying a white flag. Okay, right here. It says in 1817, the First Seminole War began, and General Jackson was back in South Georgia to put an end to Indian depredations. Okay, them basically um, them attacking or raiding. Okay, against their enemies. Okay, which were who um, Edom. Okay, the British. And early 1818, as they traveled the region, the Jacksons stopped at Open Clee, now referred to as simply Chehaw. Okay, at this time, the town consisted of 15 or 20 cabins with a large council house as the center flying a white flag piece. Okay, the old chiefs welcomed the American, provided them with the corn and other supplies they could be that could be spared. Okay, the chiefs sent Jackson off to Spanish Florida with 40 of their young warriors to fight their coming enemy, the Seminoles, which was Reuben. Okay, because again it was just a brother against brother kind of fight. Um, um, because again you know, I mean, because that's why I say they kept some of the laws, right? Because they didn't love our neighbor as ourselves. Speaks about loving our neighbor as ourselves, right? Gad and Reuben they didn't get along, right? You know, just like the Southern Kingdom don't get that's why today Southern Kingdom and Puerto Rican Judah Ishkar they don't get along together, right? So it speaks about that vexing Ephraim should not Judah should not vex Ephraim should not vex Judah, right? So it shows that there was there was so we're coming some times where these this the Lord he gonna he gonna make peace. Each tribe, no matter what tribe or kingdom you're from, you're gonna make peace with each other, right? And we're gonna all be one kingdom in kingdom of heaven, right? There wouldn't be no southern kingdom, northern kingdom, right? Everyone gonna be one, okay? You know, with Judah being the head, right? You know, um, fugitive upper creeks and renegade lower creeks, right? So the point I wanted to make was they don't find that white flag peace. This was to tell the 270 Georgia militia, okay, that came marching down there, okay, to not start just to shoot, right? You know, showing these devils didn't care, right? They didn't care, you know. This is why scripture says, they should not, um, the Lord should send a great nation among you, and they should not regard nor men, women, and children, okay? But they should do as they please, right? I know this was talking about the Babylon at the times, right? They came against Jerusalem, right? But we can also refer to that as Edom, right? They're not regarding men or women or children, okay? So this is Ezekiel 33. Now, I know it was not the Babylon; it was the Rome. Okay, that large. It was Rome that came against Jerusalem. Okay, that didn't regard no women and children. Right, but in that Rome really represented the Edomites. Okay, you know. So this is Ezekiel 33:6. No, Ezekiel 35. It's like prophecy against Mount Seir. Which nation was known for living in Mount Seir? The Edomites. Okay, because when you go back to the history, the term Caucasian goes back to the Caucasus Mountains, right? Because these devils they were living in the Caucasus Mountains, right? Because this is why we always say that they like their different high buildings, okay, they high rise buildings, right? This is why they said they houses on top or something like that. You know, they said they habitats on top. They like rock climbing, all the different stuff, right? You know. Said, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And this is what we're doing now, okay? We're not with these devils, okay? We're against these devils, okay? And say unto it, thus say the Lord, YAHAWASHI, behold, a old Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Right. So the Lord, He said He is against Edom, even though He used Edom as a hammer, okay, to put His people, okay, to put the 12 tribes into slavery, okay, for not, for disobeying His word, right? He gonna again, he still see Edom as a heathen, as his enemies, right? Okay. And I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Right. So the Lord, he gonna make the Edom, okay, most desolate. He gonna destroy them completely. Okay. Their land, okay, their people, okay. And we've seen this happen day in and day out. Okay. And thou lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord YAHAWASHI. Okay. And this is what the Lord come back to do with Yahushua. He come back to lay the land, lay the cities waste. Okay, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had to end. And this out, and this is an example of it. We read it here. Okay. No, right order and attack, which resulted. This is him leading 200 Southern Georgia militia, okay, killing, deleting 7 and deleting 7 and injuring 40 to 50. Okay, which would encompass a men, women, and elderly. Okay, men, fuck it, women, children, elderly, right, of the nation of Gad. Okay, of the not nation of Gad, but the tribe of Gad, right, by the sword. Okay, not only did they did Gad like that, they also did Reuben, they also did Issachar, they also did the north, Judah, Yehoiada, okay, Benjamin, Levi, okay. The list goes on and on. All right. So this is the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time their iniquity had an end. Okay, because because the Lord and he still even though because we're eventually we're gonna be free. Okay, the Lord he about to come out and free his elect. Okay, you know. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? You know, and it shows. Right? These devils they don't hate blood. Okay, again, that white flag of peace was flying, um, or flying in the air. Seemingly those Georgia militias to not attack. Right? But did they care? Nope. Okay. Did the captain care? Nope. Right? You know, and it shows that in the character, even Andrew Jackson, another devil, okay, he didn't even attack the guy, right? When he saw that white flag of peace, he didn't attack them, right? So it's showing that they know. Again, I say Andrew Jackson is a devil because he still attacked Reuben. Reuben is a tribe in the nation of Israel, right? So he's still a devil. Okay, he's still you know gonna pay for what he did. Okay, he's still gonna be a slave in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so um, the Seminole Wars, right? If you don't know nothing about the Seminole Wars, okay, it was basically the first Seminole War, 1817 to 1818, began over attempts by the U.S. authorities to recapture runaway black slaves living amongst Seminole bands. Okay, it says under General Jackson, U.S. military forces invaded the area, scattering the villagers, burning their towns, and seizing Spanish-held Pensacola, okay, and Saint. All right. Again, he's a devil. Okay, he's still a devil. All right. And this is that troop, right? You know, I'm gonna get some images. This is a troop that overcame Gad, right? They overcame Reuben. You have reanatomy here. It's pretty cool. So blood gonna pursue Edom, okay? Because they didn't hate blood, so blood gonna pursue them, right? You know, blood's gonna pursue them, okay? Meaning what? That they're gonna pay back for what they did, right? They're gonna drink on that cup of captivity, that cup of slavery, that cup of, you know, of all the hell that we had to go through. We're gonna turn back on them like 20-fold, right? Scripture said, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, the double according to her what she done unto you. So they're gonna get double everything they did unto us. Okay. So I'm probably gonna close it here, Flock. Probably gonna close it here. Um, but yeah, so I'm close here by giving all and good praises to YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Till next time, we'll say Shalom.